So I think that Marvin and I will probably do a video going into this a little bit more, discussing it later this week. But I just wanted to make a quick car vid here, um, talking about something that I think is vitally important when you're hearing all these different manifesting ideas, ideas about self improvement, how to change your life, how to, by feeling differently, see your external world change, right? I think it's vitally important to realize that this is so subjective how this stuff works in your life. So subjective. And you get all these goofballs like myself making videos on YouTube, or you get all these wonderful sounding teachers who've written all these books, or you see these videos of these various gurus and supposed saints talking about things. And it's very easy to get swept up with the idea that there's a certain way to do things. And there's a certain thing you have to do in order to have success in your life. And this video is just a reminder that that's all phooey. It's all phooey, especially when it comes to something often as metaphysical as seemingly, changing how you think and changing how you feel, which is a very hard thing to describe, first of all, right? When it comes to something as hard to describe as that, and then working with those changes to see your outer world change, your external reality, or whatever you want to call it, that's such a hard subject to really, talk about or explain, right? So when it comes to this stuff, that has to be something we're aware of, that all these people talking about the ideas, they're in all likelihood, explaining it as best they can through their own lens, through their own language, through their own experiences. But that actual process is so hard to label, let alone create hard and set rules for. When I explain it in this very, kind of laid back, no big deal way, this probably seems pretty obvious, right? Yet, what occurs is, there's all these big words thrown around, like on YouTube or in the law of attraction space, laws, certain ways of doing things. Like, once I discovered how to do this, my life changed. You only have to do this in order for this to happen. And, as figures of speech, as colloquialisms, ways of talking, sure, that might be true, right? But we have a tendency to buy into the laws, to buy into this is how you do something, this is how you do it, this is it, this is the only way, or this is one way that will definitely work, the other ways are not going to work as well. That mode of thinking, that black and white type of thinking when it comes to manifesting a better life. And this is just wrong. And it's wrong because you, as the individual, have the experience, you have the power, you have the vitality, not these teachings, certainly not these words or phrases or laws that we hear. Those are all just trying to point at what you already have, right? And so how you get this stuff to work in your life is going to be based upon what you already have within you. And how you label that or how you explain that to yourself, let alone to others, is really going to depend on where you're at. And we're each, unique individuals, right? And the point of a lot of the videos I make, a lot of the advice I share, and I think the point of a lot of the advice that a lot of teachers in this space share is to show you that it's okay to talk about this stuff in different ways, right? But that ultimately the way is you. So it's like a unifying theme, right? It's not a theme where it's like, this is how you do it, this is how you don't do it. It's not black and white. It's very, very gray. And there's a good chance you will find the teaching that deeply affects you one day, 1 week, or 1 year, that the next day, week, or year, it will not affect you the same way. And there's a good chance, if you're being honest with yourself, that you realize that all this stuff that people call laws and say this is how it works and this is how it's going to work for you, or you wouldn't expect it but it's going to go like this, that none of that's necessarily true in your case. I generally share this advice, you could call it, or make these videos, write books, counsel and coach people, just to help support people and hopefully help them feel better, facilitate them feeling okay with where they're at and who they are, and feel the power that they already are, right? But really, it's like there's nothing to it. There's no one set way or thing I could tell you to make that happen. There's not. There's not, There's a lot of helpful ideas out there, really interesting teachers explaining, about these various manifesting concepts to help us practically improve our lives and feel better, that are really cool, right? But it's just not this black and white thing. It's this gray thing. And I think we need to be reminded of this, because people want to put these ideas in a certain manner, do them a certain way, or put a certain time frame on them, or get certain results to judge them whether they're true or not. And the deeper part of you, the deepest part of you, that power that you already have, it's not about doing something in a certain way or getting certain results, or it's a failure, or having a certain time frame, because that power, that sense of peace or freedom or whatever you want to call it, is always there within you. And when we access it, very interesting things can happen in our external life. But whether or not we access it, it's still there. And it's still accessible, whether we, manifest things in the way we expect, or whether we do not. And just by recognizing that we already have a real sense of peace or freedom within us right now, just being aware of that and recognizing that more, in my opinion, that's reason enough to explore these various manifesting and practical spiritual ideas. It's not a competition. It's not about being right or wrong or black and white thinking. It's about embracing the gray. So Marv and I will probably have a longer video where we discuss some of this, maybe in regards to navigating various things in our life, specifically like relationships, because we have our new SP coaching program that we're now offering. But I just wanted to make this gentle reminder video today to tell you that you're doing fine as you are. Not only are you doing fine, but you already are fine, right? Forget about trying to do something a certain way unless it feels good to try doing it a certain way. You can allow yourself just to be here and be all right now. Very powerful and fulfilling when we just do that. And you can do it. All right. So, yeah. Any questions, I can be reached at radicalcounselor.com.